Andy, thank you so much for joining me. You are often identified with the work you did at Takeda UK 10 or 11 years ago, pioneering the KAM model in Pharma. I'm interested today in where you feel that we've got to and where we're going to for the very different situation that we see in front of us now.
I think things have moved on a lot, and I think that, I don't know, the model that we created 10 years ago, 11 years ago, this still applies in many cases today. The principles still apply, but our customer has shifted so much that there are other things we need to address. So it's certainly, I wouldn't take what we created in 2004, pick it up and drop it in 2014. It just doesn't work that way anymore. Priorities, there's still, it's being customer focused. I know it's a glib statement, but it's really truly understanding what the customer wants and giving it to them. And what we found in 2004 was if you got a list of everything the customer wanted and showed it to a pharmaceutical executive, the list, well, we're not going to do that, it's commercial suicide. And we quite often described getting, sort of removing all the primary and secondary care representatives and putting the KAM team in place as putting our gun down. And once you put the gun down, the dialogue with the NHS was completely different. And so I still think that applies today, is truly listening to your customer. Ever more important to patients. And the number of patient-led organisations, and I don't mean sort of patient groups and charities, but I mean sort of crowdsourcing and the power of patients and the education of patients, I think is on the increase. And I think more and more decisions are going to be dictated by what patients actually want. And I think it's a long time coming. It's about time it came as a patient. So I think that has implications for pharma too.
So NeoNavitas is a relatively new organisation, and it's been described to me as contract sales in a unique way. Can you expand on that slightly?
Okay, not quite sure who described it that way. It's not the way I'd describe it, but it's really, there are many contract sales organisations, much larger than ourselves, and they do what they do very well. I think what we bring with our team of key account managers, many of whom are steeped in our particular way of working and are very commercial in terms of results orientation and the way that they work, with 10, 11, 12 years experience at the sharp end of key account management, is that that's their guns for hire. Is probably the best way I could describe it. The other way I've learned to describe it with customers is if you've got huge organisations over here who you're partnering with on certain things, is we'd like to describe ourselves as more like the Jerry Maguire of pharmaceutical consultancies around this area, because we can't work with every company. If we work with, I don't know, one let's say cancer company, oncology company, we won't work with others. And we have a lot of skin in the game in terms of the commercial success of that organisation, not coming in, dropping in a service and walking away again. So I think that's a big difference. And we like the cut and thrust of working on lots of different projects. Takeda was a project, and other companies I've worked for, it's been projects. And what we really like is getting involved in something where there's a significant challenge and turning that challenge around and being successful, and bringing a bit of innovation and creativity as well. And we do a lot of NHS-facing stuff as well. We work a lot with the NHS as part of our company, and we draw that back in to help us with our clients, and sort of, so it's a bit of it's a loop for us. So no, it's a we're not trying to be some of the organisations that you may be talking about. We just don't want to be that. It's not satisfying or edifying for the way we think. It's really just picking up a significant challenge and helping somebody get it across the line and achieve some great success. And when we're not needed anymore, we'll go. But we bring a lot of experience of recruiting, training, managing and performance managing really good key account managers. And the guys we've got, we consider our team to be the best in the industry, bar none.
If you were training a sales force that wasn't, or an account manager that wasn't going to actually start their work until, say, 3 or 4 years from now,
yeah,
what sort of skills would you be really trying to focus on for that situation in the future?
I think people have to, it's really understanding your customer. You quite often now in the pharmaceutical industry with strategic customers who have a great influence in what goes on in their health economy, you have one chance to have a conversation. If you stuff it up, you don't get back in again. So people, and how can you stuff it up? Well, it's not understanding what that customer does, what they're trying to achieve, how they're trying to achieve it, what resources they have at their disposal, how the money moves around, what the politics is. And people who can go into a health economy really, really understand and research what is going on and land a perfect conversation first time. It's almost like, you know, pharmaceutical companies spend 6 months, 3 months, 5 months, 4 months testing detail aids, creating a message and a story which is delivered time and time and time again. This is doing that piece of work every time you see a customer. So the ability to really understand what is going on in each health economy, not have to be directed to understand how to appropriately apply what the company brings in terms of solutions to that, and co-create a solution is absolutely paramount. So the ability to analyse, create a very insightful situation analysis of what is going on, have an extraordinary conversation, which that one conversation can mean you can work with that group forever or never again. And so you need really, really talented people at that sharp end. And I think, you know, I equate, I don't know, old stand meetings for pharmaceutical representatives, and many companies ban them now, or they're not allowed to happen, or it's seen as a sort of a wasteful activity. Lots and lots of pharmaceutical sort of key account managers spend a lot of time sitting in CCG board meetings. It's not work. It's not getting anything done, listening to what's going on in a CCG board meeting. It's so you still need people who are commercially aware. They want to drive results, and they want to get engaged in activity which is going to make a difference. And you can get distracted in these kinds of roles. So I think, you know, you've still got to be, a lot of things apply. I want to succeed, I want to achieve, but I want to do it with the patient's interests at heart and the goals of the health economy at heart. So what does that boil down to? Is people who care, genuinely care, people who are genuinely active and commercial, and genuinely bright.